Welcome back, everyone. Toyshiz here, and happy Pride Month to you all. Today, we're going to be checking out a duo of new DC Multiverse figures by McFarlane Toys. We have the Jonathan Kent Superman, and then, of course, we have Tim Drake's Red Robin. It's the usual DC Multiverse packaging. This one being, well, we have Jonathan Kent from Future State, and then you have Red Robin from the DC New 52, as confusing as all that is. On the back side of the boxes, we got some nice renders of the figures. Here are the barcodes for each figure. Now, I did get mine from Walmart.com. They shipped them out. I believe Red Robin has started hitting Targets, so just in general, be on the lookout, because if they're not out now, they will be out very shortly on shelves. So, this is going to be fun. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look of two of the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures, Red Robin and Jonathan Kent as Superman, or Superboy. Let's call him Superboy. And of course, here are both of the figures taken out of the packaging. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be a fun video because when you look at them from afar, right, you go, okay, yeah, not too shabby, right? These are two figures that are very different once you start looking at them, both in the execution of the sculpt, the paint, and articulation, everything else. So, yeah, we're going to kick it off with Superboy right here. So, you do get a flight stand. You don't get the little flat black stand. Just added it just for effect, right? Ooh. You get an extra pair of hands. You got fisted hands, and you got flying hands. So, the stand is the usual stand, and then you have the outstretched hands, which I think we'll say they work pretty well. I think one of them, maybe they got a little warped. You can kind of heat them up and fix them. They're not too out of whack, but yeah, you get the idea. I'm glad they got extra hands. Now, Jonathan Kent, Superboy. I'm going to tell you this right now. I do not care for the head portrait and the way the face and the eyes are. I think he's got some pretty sweet hair. I think that, yeah, he looks like the comics adaptation of the figure, right? For the costume and everything else. But I don't like how they made him mean looking. You know, I don't think it fits in the context of what I think about for this newer version of the Superboy Superman character. Other than that, I think that they nailed the sculpt, the reds, the blues, the costume in general, right? He stands out. But this is definitely one that from afar, he looks a lot better than when you start really looking at it. So the head portrait aside, right? Now, I don't think in the articulation of the head, it does enough Superman, Superboy type posing. You can't really get it back to really execute a great flying pose. There's a lot of gappage within the yellow to the red parts, and a lot of the yellow gets very sloppy, as does the red along parts of the details of the suit. So where you have blue bleeding into the red, he does have butterfly joints, but then when you open it up, it does the whole Spider-Man Marvel Legends thing where you can see the red part of the joints. It doesn't look good, right? We're so used to having it all be flush usually when McFarlane does it. So that's one thing. And then right here at the bicep swivel, there's two ways to look at this. I haven't heated up, I haven't done anything. Either the paint has sealed it shut and it's not budging, or it's glued. One of the two. On both sides, you cannot move the biceps on my copy. Might be different on yours, but that's a bit of a bummer there. Now, you do have double jointed elbows, you have wrists, and the wrists do all the good stuff that they should do. However, the part of the peg ball joint that meets the hands, it's a different colored flesh tone. It's more of a tan to a more lighter flesh tone for the actual molded plastic. So it doesn't match, and you do see it, especially in hand. He does have, let's say, ab rotation, not much of an ab crunch. He'll spin at the waist. The legs are fine. Doesn't have that diaper thing. That's really good. He does have some double jointed knees. Those work. And then again, much like the hands and the wrists, you have a dark red paint, you have a light red joint, back to a dark red boot. So it doesn't match, and you can really see it in hand. Does all the toe articulation and foot articulation that you want. Now, some people are saying, well, shouldn't he have a cape? Well, in some aspects, yes, it kind of feels like it's whoever's drawing the character. Plus, the new type of his costume is actually the one that looks like it should have the cape, so maybe we'll have that eventually. But as it is right now, he looks good from afar. The colors are bright, they pop. I do not care for the head portrait, and the paint and the joints not matching up is a mess. When you have him in terms of scalature, right? You have Superboy, and we'll just take random Superman. This is my favorite Superman. I would like these two to match up. I think that this is entirely too tall for Superman Superboy, right? I just think that he should be on a smaller, more teen body. That's all that I really got for you on that one. But of course, in posing him out, getting the flight stand, getting hovering, he looks good, right? But it's when you start to look up close, that's where you see all the problems. I'll tell you all day, I don't care for the head portrait. I wish he was more in a good mood, smiling. That's how I really see this particular character. He's kind of like the happy-go-lucky. Superman doesn't have to be evil, no matter who he is. Superboy, Superman. Put him in a good mood, have him flying around, doing awesome stuff, but you put him in a flying pose, you can kind of achieve it, right? But this one is just kind of largely a pass. Now, let's get into Red Robin, because it's the complete opposites. I'm going to tell you all day. I was never a huge fan of this costume for Red Robin, but the action figure version rocks. This is a very cool figure. The one gripe I'll tell you right off the bat, I think that this pole, this staff that he has, is entirely too thick. This should have been more like a baton, like Donatello's bow staff. It looks like he's going to beat criminals and, of course, carrying around a giant lead pipe. I'd say more in terms of a broomstick handle, right? Now, in terms of the actual figure, that head portrait rocks. The face, the paint, the way the lips are, the skin tone, the hair going off to the side. There's little blue bits of paint in the hair down to the costume. This is a very cool figure. I am very surprised. Even down to the detail on this guy. Let's say on his knee pads, he has little etch markings. It's different on each side. I like that. That's like old school McFarlane Toy Biz. You know what I mean? Where not everything is so perfect. Peg holes on the bottom of his feet. The forearms. Double jointed elbows. The wings, I'll tell you right now, they don't seem to be removable. If you can get them off, cool. Tried. Not going to happen for me. But the wings are fantastic. And with this particular costume, it's supposed to be more like a cape turned into wings. You know, that's kind of how I see it. Posing him looks great. The wings don't fall. They don't do the Demona thing. You know what I'm talking about? They're very bendable, so they're not going to break on you. But they also stay in place, and they just look dang good. So I definitely like how they did that, even though I kind of wish you could take them off if you had that option. The head articulation is pretty solid. He'll look left and right. You get a lot more looking up, but he looks down a whole heck of a lot, as a Batman family character should. A lot of brooding. You got the bicep, you got the butterflies, you got the double jointed, and you got all the wrist rockage that you could imagine. Now, with the ab crunch, he does go a lot further than, let's say, Superboy. He'll go back, and then he'll also twist at the waist. I love all the pouches, the details. Everything is really brought to life on this guy. I like it a lot. This costume really does make for a great looking toy. Solid feet, all the different joints match up color wise. So I'll tell you again, out of the two, this is the one where I'm going to say definitely get it if it meets your fancy. When you start posing him out, you see what I mean in terms of the stick or the bow staff just being entirely too thick, too big. I like that you can pose him with one wing up, one wing down, like he's deflecting bullets while beating down a bad guy. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool to me. The poses, everything that you can achieve with this guy while he's on the ground looks great. But when you start putting him in a flight stand, that's the money shot right there. That looks amazing. And it's not like the Batman Beyond figure where it's got a hook into anything. I really wish they would have done Terry like that. That would have been awesome. And in terms of posing these two together, they do look good, right, for photography. So I can't knock that. In terms of the scalature for this Batman and Red Robin in general, I'm going to use this Batman, but these two really look good together. It's almost as if the same sculptor did these two, because just in the terms of the facial features, they look great. When you put this newer Damian Wayne Robin in there, he looks too cartoony. The head is way too big. So this particular Damian doesn't want to fit with, let's just say, these two figures in general. However, the most recent Batgirl from the Three Jokers, I feel like she is a great representation of this particular style that they got going, and she will fit and scale well. Now, the older, we'll say, first Damian Wayne Robin, I think that he actually fits. Even though he's got kind of like a smug face on him, he looks good. Along with the Red Hood, he looks fantastic, all paired up with them. And I'll tell you honestly, I didn't exclude Nightwing on purpose, but I think we're still waiting on just the right Nightwing. I'm just going to say it that way. Now, an older Red Robin figure that I have from the Mattel line, right before they went out, right? This is what I mean in terms of a thinner bow staff. That looks really good for that Red Robin, and I actually really like the costume for that particular Red Robin, because 90s Tim Drake is my Robin. That's what I think about. So to have him as Red Robin now and have so many other costume identities, it's okay. But I really do like this figure, to be honest with you. And in terms of pairing him up with other Bat Family or recent comic book Bat Family teams and whatnot, you can actually put them together with a lot of Mattel figures. Oddly enough, he does scale well. He looks good. Even though that eventually down the road, yeah, I'd like to see the McFarlane take on those as well. So that's really going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Robin and Jonathan Kent Superman Superboy. What do you guys think about these figures? Are they for you? Will you be getting them now? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything DC Multiverse. There's a whole heck of a lot of McFarlane figures hitting right now. A lot of them I haven't gotten just yet, but rest assured, they are on the way as soon as I grab them. I'm really looking forward to that Man-Bat. I have Grifter on the way, looking for that Joker Dragon. So yeah, a lot more DC Multiverse in the works. So thanks for being patient. And yeah, we'll be taking a look at all of them. A lot of great offerings. I got to give it to them on that. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, yeah, that Man-Bat, woo! As soon as I get that in my collection, we'll be doing a video. And when we do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.